What if I told you that some of Hollywood's biggest stars were almost always drunk on set? Their struggles with alcohol became as legendary as their iconic roles. From public meltdowns to career-threatening behavior, alcohol abuse has claimed many stars in Hollywood, leaving fans in the industry in shock. Behind the glamour of red carpets and flashing cameras, some of the biggest names in the business battle their demons privately and often publicly. For many of these stars, alcohol wasn't just a part of their personal lives. It seeped into their careers, affecting their performances, relationships, and even their reputations. While the pressure of fame might seem overwhelming, the destructive behavior that follows can be just as damaging. From substance abuse ruining careers to alcohol-fueled outbursts, some stars were unable to escape the dark side of fame. In this video, we're taking a closer look at 10 of Hollywood's worst alcoholics who were known for being drunk all the time, some even more than they were sober. Their battles with alcohol became just as much a part of their story as their legendary roles. Keep watching as we dive into these shocking tales. Charlie Sheen's wild partying and erratic behavior on 2.5 Men quickly became the stuff of legend. His alcohol and drug abuse became as notorious as his acting career, particularly in the 2000s. Sheen's off-screen antics, including public meltdowns and bizarre interviews, kept in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. His erratic behavior reached a peak when he was fired from 2.5 Men in 2011 after a very public and heated dispute with the show's creator, Chuck Lorre. Sheen's alcohol abuse played a major role in his downfall, leading to numerous rehab stints and a pattern of self-destructive behavior. His infamous winning rant and claims of having tiger blood only fueled the spectacle, with the world watching as his life seemed to spiral out of control. Sheen's personal battles overshadowed his acting talent, and while he did attempt to come back with anger management, the damage to his reputation and career was lasting. Despite his struggles, Sheen remains a polarizing figure, with some still admiring his boldness and others viewing him as a cautionary tale of fame and addiction. His public battles with alcohol and drugs are a defining chapter in his controversial career. James Dean, the ultimate rebellious icon, is remembered for his intense on-screen presence and tragic, brief career. His legacy, while rooted in his unforgettable roles in Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant, was also overshadowed by his personal struggles. Alcohol played a significant role in his turbulent life, contributing to the chaos surrounding his fame. While not as publicly notorious as some of his contemporaries, Dean's alcohol issues were well known, and he frequently used drinking as an escape from the pressures of fame and his inner demons. Dean's tumultuous relationships, especially with women, were often fueled by alcohol, and his self-destructive behavior was a recurring theme. Despite his outward persona as a misunderstood, cool young man, he was grappling with deep insecurities and a troubled childhood. Alcohol became a way for him to cope with these struggles, often affecting his personal and professional relationships. His death at the young age of 24 in a car accident only added to the myth of his troubled life. Today, James Dean remains a tragic figure, a symbol of the dark side of fame and the cost of personal demons, with alcohol being a significant part of that story. Robert Downey Jr.'s career nearly came to an end due to his battles with alcohol and substance abuse. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Downey Jr. was caught in a downward spiral of addiction that seemed impossible to overcome. His struggles were widely publicized, with multiple arrests, stints in rehab, and erratic behavior both on and off set. During this time, his personal and professional life were in chaos, leading many to believe his promising career in Hollywood was finished. Downey Jr.'s issues with alcohol were often intertwined with drugs, leading to a cycle of destructive behavior that made him unreliable on set and in his personal relationships. At one point, he was even placed under house arrest due to his repeated legal troubles. However, Downey Jr. managed to turn his life around, thanks to a combination of rehabilitation, support from his family, and a deep personal commitment to sobriety. His comeback began with his iconic role as Tony Stark in the Iron Man series, marking the start of his Marvel Cinematic Universe success. Downey Jr.'s remarkable transformation from troubled star to one of Hollywood's biggest names, a testament to his resilience and determination to overcome his demons. Richard Burton's relationship with alcohol was a defining aspect of his turbulent life and career, especially during his marriage to Hollywood icon Elizabeth Taylor. The couple's passionate, often tumultuous relationship was heavily affected by their mutual struggles with alcohol, making their love story one of the most scandalous in Hollywood history. Burton's drinking became notorious, and it fueled his public outbursts, erratic behavior, and emotional volatility, which often made headlines. Throughout his career, Burton's alcohol abuse was an open secret. It affected his performances and relationships, including with Taylor, who herself had a complicated history with alcohol. Their shared dependence on alcohol only intensified the drama that surrounded their personal lives, leading to multiple separations and reconciliations. Despite their addictions, the couple remained deeply connected, and their bond was often as famous as their careers. Burton's drinking also took a toll on his health. His heavy drinking contributed to his early death at the age of 58. Even though he was an acclaimed actor with a distinguished career, winning multiple awards and starring in iconic films like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, his legacy is marred by the public and private battles he faced with alcohol. Ben Affleck's struggle with alcoholism has been a significant and often public part of his life and career. Over the years, the actor has openly discussed his battle with addiction, which has included multiple stints in rehab. His history with alcohol was well documented in the media, with the public watching as he navigated both his personal and professional challenges. Affleck's issues with alcohol began to surface during his rise to fame in the late 1990s and early 2000s. While his career soared with hits like Good Will Hunting and Armageddon, his personal life was plagued by a growing dependency on alcohol. The stress of fame, combined with personal struggles, led to a downward spiral that saw him checking into rehab several times, including high-profile admissions in 2001, 2017, and beyond. Despite his struggles, Affleck's story is one of resilience. He has continued to find success in Hollywood, particularly with his work as both an actor and director. His role in Argo earned him an Academy Award, and his portrayal of Batman in the DC Universe reintroduced him to a new generation of fans. Affleck's honesty about his addiction has become part of his narrative, and he remains a symbol of recovery and perseverance in the public eye. Judy Garland's struggles with alcohol and prescription drugs were deeply tied to her life in Hollywood, particularly during her years at MGM. As a child star, she was placed under immense pressure to maintain a perfect image. Studio executives controlled nearly every aspect of her life, including her diet, appearance, and work schedule. To keep up with the grueling demands of her career, she was given amphetamines to stay awake and barbiturates to sleep. Over time, this led to a dangerous cycle of dependency that followed her into adulthood. While Garland was beloved for her performances in The Wizard of Oz, A Star is Born, and Meet Me in St. Louis, her personal life was far from glamorous. Her addiction to prescription drugs eventually extended to alcohol, further complicating her battles with mental health and self-esteem. The effects of substance abuse made her unreliable on set, leading to lost roles and financial struggles. Despite her immense talent, Garland's demons overshadowed her career. Her health declined, and she tragically passed away at just 47 years old from an overdose. Her legacy remains a bittersweet reminder of Hollywood's dark side and the immense pressure placed on its biggest stars. Johnny Depp's struggles with alcohol have been a significant part of his personal and professional life, especially in recent years. While he built a reputation as one of Hollywood's most talented and versatile actors, starring in films like Pirates of the Caribbean, Edward Scissorhands, and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, his off-screen battles with addiction often made headlines. His drinking habits were well known in Hollywood, but they became even more public during his tumultuous marriage to actress Amber Heard. During their highly publicized divorce and defamation trial, Heard accused Depp of alcohol-fueled outbursts and erratic behavior. Court testimonies and leaked recordings painted a picture of a relationship plagued by substance abuse, with Depp himself admitting to struggles with alcohol and drugs. The controversy surrounding their legal battle led to career setbacks, including Disney cutting ties with him from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Despite these struggles, Depp has continued working in film and has remained a beloved figure among his fans. His legal victories against Heard helped him regain some professional footing, but his reputation remains mixed. Depp's story highlights the dark side of fame, addiction, and the lasting impact personal struggles can have on a Hollywood career. Errol Flynn was one of Hollywood's most charismatic and adventurous leading men, known for his swashbuckling roles in classics like The Adventures of Robin Hood and Captain Blood. However, his legendary on-screen persona was rivaled by his excessive drinking and wild lifestyle, which became just as famous as his films. Flynn was notorious for his love of alcohol, often drinking heavily both on and off set, which led to erratic behavior and a reputation for being unreliable. By the 1940s, his hard-partying ways began overshadowing his career. He frequently showed up to film shoots intoxicated, causing production delays and frustrating directors. His off-screen antics, including a highly publicized trial in 1943 over serious allegations, further damaged his reputation. Though he was acquitted, the scandal, coupled with his alcoholism, marked the beginning of his decline in Hollywood. Flynn's health deteriorated rapidly due to his drinking, and by the 1950s, his career was in steep decline. He died at just 50 years old from a heart attack, with years of alcohol abuse taking its toll. Despite his talent and undeniable charm, Flynn's legacy remains a cautionary tale of how fame and excess can lead to self-destruction. Matthew Perry's battle with alcohol and addiction became one of the most well-known struggles in Hollywood, particularly during his time on Friends. While he became a household name as the witty and lovable Chandler Bing, behind the scenes, he was fighting a private war with substance abuse. Perry has openly admitted that during the peak years of Friends, he was often intoxicated on set, struggling to keep up with the demands of fame while battling addiction. His drinking, combined with prescription drug abuse, led to severe health complications, dramatic weight fluctuations, and multiple stints in rehab. Despite his efforts to keep his struggles private, his addiction became widely publicized, with fans noticing his changing appearance and erratic behavior throughout different seasons of the show. Over the years, Perry worked hard to achieve sobriety, using his experiences to help others by opening a sober living facility and advocating for addiction recovery. Though his career had ups and downs, his honesty about his struggles made him an inspiration for many dealing with similar issues. Tragically, Perry passed away in 2023, leaving behind a legacy not just as a beloved actor, but as a voice for addiction awareness and recovery. Orson Welles, the genius behind Citizen Kane, was not only a visionary filmmaker and actor, but also a man known for his excessive drinking. Throughout his career, Welles struggled with alcohol, often showing up on set intoxicated. His love for drinking became the stuff of Hollywood legend, with stories of him slurring through lines, delaying productions, and even struggling to complete projects due to his alcohol use. Despite his immense talent, Welles' drinking habits contributed to the difficulties he faced in Hollywood. Once celebrated as a prodigy for his groundbreaking work in radio, theater, and film, his career suffered as studios found him increasingly difficult to work with. His drinking, combined with his uncompromising artistic vision, led to numerous failed projects and financial troubles. One of the most infamous examples of his intoxication was during a recording session for a wine commercial, where he was visibly inebriated, slurring his words in footage that later became a viral sensation. Though Welles remained a revered filmmaker until his death, his struggles with alcohol played a role in his career's setbacks. His legacy remains that of a brilliant yet self-destructive artist whose vices often overshadowed his genius. Hollywood has seen some of its brightest stars struggle with alcohol, proving that fame and fortune don't always bring happiness. From vintage legends like Errol, Flynn, and Orson Welles to modern icons like Ben Affleck and Johnny Depp, alcohol has derailed careers, strained relationships, and even led to tragic endings. While some managed to turn their lives around, others weren't as lucky. These stories serve as a reminder that addiction doesn't discriminate. Even the most talented actors can fall victim to it.